Hoi allemaal, welkom terug naar mijn kanaal. Ik ben Fia, ik ben een Caribische vrouw die in Nederland woont sinds bijna 4 jaren. I am making a video series about my process of practicing Dutch and learning as much as possible to do my B1 exam in September this year, 2025. If you don't know what the B1 exam is, basically as you're integrating into the Netherlands, if you want to have your Dutch citizenship, you need to have a certain level of Dutch language skills. Now they have upgraded the level from beginner, upper beginner to intermediate, which is the B1 level. Depending on your situation, you have either 3 or 5 years to do this exam and pass to get your Dutch citizenship. So now I'm in the process of learning as much as I can, preparing myself to do this exam as soon as possible. A lot of people have asked me what will happen if I don't pass the exam or if I don't do the exam, and it's simple, you get a fine. Now, I made a few videos in the past about my preparation, my plan for being prepared for this exam, what I'm doing, what I need to learn, how the exam is structured, as in all the steps, the different type of exams that you need to do. I have not been consistent with my uploading, and that's because I also started a new job. I also have a baby, and time just didn't really permit for me to make a video, but I've been doing bits and pieces here and there to help me learn and process everything and get me to the right level. I do plan on continuing this series to kind of show you guys my process and also help those people who are also going through the same process or who need to be doing the exam very soon as well. But for this video, I want to share with you guys, if you are also needing to do a Dutch exam for whatever reason, I'm going to be sharing with you some learning materials that have really helped me that I'm using right now to get myself to B1 level. Of course, if you are doing a language course online or in person, they might have their own special learning materials, but I'm doing a self-study right now, so I'm going to share with you. If you also want to do a self-study, you don't want to spend the money for these type of things like me, I'm going to give you the best tools to get you to B1 level. So I'll first start with some of the learning materials that I received when I was doing language courses, whether online or in person. Some of these are, well, actually one of these books are from the place where I actually was doing the class. But this other one is just a Dutch book for learning from level A2 to B1. But I did use it for that course and I thought that it was very helpful. So I'm going to share that with you. So the first book I have is Nederlands in Actie. This is a popular one, I believe. It does say it is from level A2 to B1. Which is what you want to be when you're going to do that B1 exam. I think you should try and really brush up on the A2 skills to be able to do B1. So this book also comes with online material where you can practice your vocabulary. There are exercises, listening exercises, but also things about grammar or reading and listening. There's audio, there's other links that you can watch videos that is linked with that. So if you do have this book, you will also have access to this like online platform, but it's very helpful because there are reading exercises and then they have activities that you can follow along. For example, filling in the blanks, finishing sentences, but also teaching you about grammar rules and that type of stuff. So I think this is really good if you are wanting to learn about the rules and how the sentence structure works. And then there are a lot of practice exercises. And in the back of the book, there are all the answers. So if you don't have somebody to practice with you or to help you go through that, I think this will be good. You do the exercises yourself, and then you can go in the back of the book to see how correct you are or if you're really on track. So this book is really helpful. I just want to add for the B1 exam, of course, you need to do listening, reading, speaking, writing, and also like knowledge of the Dutch society. This book has all these aspects. So there are speaking assignments, writing, listening, reading, vocabulary, conversational, grammatical, also using music. So there are a lot of things that covers this. This will really help prepare you for that B1 exam because it has all these aspects in it as well. So the next material that was really helpful to me was this book that I got along with the course that I was doing. I did use this course to do my A1 exam, which helped me ace it. I got full scores for that. I think they have some really good materials, and I did this course online. It was with quite a large group, but it was one of the cheaper ones that I could find. And it was 2 sessions every week for about 3 hours each, mainly speaking and going through the assignments in the book with a group. So this is a book. It's basically Inburgeringsexamen, and this is actually specific for the exam and preparing you for the exam. So it's a lot more advanced than the previous book is more focused on grammar. So for this book, it comes with a course that is called Ad Apple, which is what I used for the A1 exam. They also have materials on YouTube, which I will talk about a little bit later. But they are preparing people for all these Dutch exams, whether it's A1, A2, B1. And what I do like about this, it also prepares you for the listening, the reading, the speaking, the writing. And also you learn things about traffic systems or history and this type of thing. So it's also giving you knowledge of Dutch society. So it usually starts with an assignment where there's a comprehension. So you read this long comprehension, just like in school times, guys. So you have the comprehension, and after that, it will ask you questions that you need to answer in complete sentences. And there's also like multiple choice as well. So that's exactly how it's going to be when you're doing the exam. You will have things like these. So it's a good preparation. And then they have the writing part. I don't even know if you can see this, but basically you have to finish the sentences. Basically, they'll give you a topic and you need to write or answer about it. But mostly that part is finishing the sentences. And then there is a part of writing an email. So they will give you a scenario like you are wanting to apply for something with the gemeente and you need to send an email to ask them for permission. Just an example. And then for speaking, they have all these pictures and you need to write a sentence based on each picture. And then for listening, there is usually an audio that you need to listen to and then you answer questions about it. So that's basically this book. It's really big. There are a lot of different topics, and of course, the answers are also in the back if you would have needed help with that. So I thought this textbook was also very helpful. So far throughout my journey, I have only used 2 textbooks. I don't think you need to spend a whole lot of money to be buying all these books and all these material. Of course, there are a lot of materials online, which I'm going to talk to you about right now. So I know a lot of language learners quickly want to run to Duolingo to help them prepare for an exam. That is a big no. Duolingo, I feel, is very basic. It teaches you maybe some knowledge, but it doesn't teach you how to speak. It doesn't teach you all the rules. It's very surface level, I found. Because I knew people who knew all the prompts on Duolingo, but could not speak any bit of Dutch at all. So I have some apps that I think will be more helpful than Duolingo that actually teach you things and you can actually learn from it. Usually what I do, I just go in the App Store and I look and I search for so many like language learning materials to see what's actually helpful. I've tried so many, and these ones I'm going to mention are the ones that I found were the most helpful. So the first app I use right now is called Duocards. I did talk about Duocards in a previous video, but I'm going to mention it again. Basically, you have a library where there are different videos that you can watch. They are also with subtitles. You can slow it down. You can highlight words you don't know. You can choose what level you're at and you can follow along the video. You can also slow it down or speed it up to your own preference. And you have the option to highlight the words you don't know and real-time translate them. There are other activities where you can learn vocabulary. So you choose a topic, for example, they have a list of topics and you see the word like this. When you tap the word, you hear what it sounds like, and it also uses it in a sentence. Then you learn as many words as possible, and the words that you think you know, you can swipe them in a different direction. So they kind of saved in like a folder. Then you also have the option to talk to their AI tool. So you can ask it anything basically. They give prompts like make a story from my cards. Your cards are the words that I said that you kind of save away from your folder that you learned. Give me examples of usage for this. what is the difference between this and this, or how do I say? So these are just some of the prompt examples that they give you that you can use the app for. Okay, so it actually gives a long explanation. I don't know if you can see that. So the next app I use is called Memrise, and this is mostly for vocabulary, but also sentences. I click start and they give you words and phrases. So for example, the building, het gebouw, and you will hear the sound and you can choose, you already know this word, or you continue and it will save it in a file for you. There are also videos, there are also matching words. So it gives a bit of a Duolingo effect, but a bit more advanced, I would say. There also have videos. So I will show you that. So I think this feature of it where you can actually hear people speaking really slowly and then them showing you the vocabulary in this video afterwards is also super helpful for your listening skills. And there's also conversations that you can also have with their AI based on a topic, which I thought was so cool. For example, I choose beginner, which is asking for help, and I start practice. And there is an AI tool that I have a full conversation with. Every error that I make, they correct it as well. And I can translate everything. I can also use my voice to talk with it. And it's like a real person. So they respond in a way that it's like I'm texting with a real person. So Duolingo has nothing on this. I'm sorry. It was helpful for a time, but I would say it's very beginner level. The final app I'm going to share with you guys today is the Beelingual app. This is also really great for learning vocabulary. You can choose your level just as the other two. And I will show you what it looks like. So this platform is also mainly for reading. So basically you have a reading comprehension and you can hear along with them how they're reading. You can also slow it down, speed it up to your level. You can highlight words you don't know and kind of go back over it or add vocabulary to your folder. And I thought this was also really helpful for your reading skills and also for your listening skills. So I will mention for all these apps, of course, they do have an aspect for them that you need to pay for. If you want to get the full, all the features, a premium option, you need to pay. But of course, I don't pay for any of these. I choose a free option and I feel that they are still very helpful. It's up to you if you decide that you want to pay to get more out of it as possible. Which I think could be very helpful, but it depends on your journey. And finally, for the YouTube section, there are quite a few YouTube channels out there that can help prepare you for your exam. The first one I would recommend is Dutch Pod 101. They have all sorts of material on all kinds of topics. So anything you're looking for, basically you can probably find it there. So definitely would recommend that. They upload videos quite regularly, so there's always new information, always very interesting things. They also have Instagram pages if that's what you prefer. But I think that could also be helpful for your language journey. The next channel that I would recommend is Learn Dutch with Kim. She is a Dutch woman who teaches also all kinds of different levels. I love how she speaks in her videos. When they're more advanced levels, she only speaks in Dutch, but she speaks it in very clear language, speaks slowly enough so you can actually follow along. Most times I don't even need subtitles, which is good to train your listening skills. And she also does talk about specific topics, sentence structure, that type of thing. So you can look for what you are weak in and try and see if you can find a video that will really help you in those areas. And final YouTube channel I will recommend is At Apple, which is the place where I got this book and I did my language course. I use their videos and materials entirely to pass my A1 exam. Very helpful. They also do have, their materials are actually structured for the exam itself. So all the questions that they gave in their learning materials were the questions that I had in my exam. The format exactly was the way that it was in the exam as well. So for example, for listening, you would hear an audio and then they'll ask you a question and you need to respond. It was exactly the same, which is really crazy, even with the timing. So I thought their videos are very focused on learning for the Inburgeringsexamen on different levels. So if that is you, I would also head over to there. And of course, if you want to do one of their language courses, they also have that information on their website. So guys, I also do want to mention some options that you may have in person. Your gemeente may have some language learning options for you. I would suggest reaching out. Some of these might actually be free. But if you're based in Gouda region, I do have some recommendations. I personally have not tried it yet, but I've heard from people how helpful these can be. There's something called a Taal House in Gouda. Basically, you can meet with people who are volunteers, who are native Dutch speakers, and you have these small groups where you meet together in different places and you just talk and you learn and you have conversations. So that can be very helpful. You can find out more information about that at the Gouda Bibliotheek, so the library in Gouda, to get to know like what times and when they meet and so on. And also there's this one, which is another Taal group. These are actually from people that I know as well for Gouda region. They meet in different locations in groups as well, where they just have conversations in Dutch. So guys, these are all the materials that I'm using currently to help me on my language journey. This video is not sponsored in any way. These are just things that I've found that have been very helpful, that I think would also help you as a person who is also trying to get to that certain level or trying to practice for the exam that you want to do. And I will post all the links for these things that I mentioned in the description below. I have had people reach out to me already about this language journey. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments or send me an email. I'll be glad to share any tips or we can brainstorm with each other. But I hope your journey is going a lot better than mine. As I mentioned, I am a bit occupied with work and different things, so it's very hard to actually find the time for this self-study. But I know the time is going by very quickly, so I really need to get focused. And I think that, focusing on these materials will really get me to where I need to be. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe for more videos like these and give this video a thumbs up. I will see you guys next time. Doei!